Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to What Shall We Do Next. And today I'm really excited to do this video. I haven't done a Titanic video in like 6 years. I can't believe it. Some of you guys probably don't even know that I'm interested in the Titanic, but I have a huge collection here, which it's not as big as it used to be. I used to have a lot of things. Like I actually had like a replica Titanic life jacket and everything like that, but I did sell a lot of things a long time ago. But there is some things that I've held on to, and I will probably keep holding on to forever. And I just thought it would be fun to show you guys my Titanic collection because, like I said, some of you are newer here than last time. I have an entire playlist on my channel of things that I've got, props, replicas, even just pieces of memorabilia from the actual Titanic. Not like actual things that were on there, but things about the ship itself. But anyway, guys, I want to show you what I have. I'll start with one of my favorite things, which is right here. It's the largest of all. My 1/400 scale Revel Titanic model, which I made entirely myself. Of course, it did come with the parts, but I put it all together myself. And I've never made a model ship or model anything in my life. And this is apparently like a grade A or something like that. So it's like professionals usually build this kind of thing. And I took on this challenge by myself. It took me 2 weeks and I did it all by myself. And there is some things that I'm not entirely happy with. I did make a few mistakes along the way. But overall, I did use every single piece and I put everything in its place. And it turned out almost perfect. I mean, for my first time anyway. It is, I don't know if you can see, it is caked in dust. I have this on a shelf and it's just been sitting there for 6 years since the last time I picked this thing up. But yeah, this is my Titanic model. The model itself is actually very good. It's very detailed and it looks pretty much identical to the actual Titanic. It also comes with this little base that says RMS Titanic. Okay, next I'll show you guys my bookends. These are supposed to go at the... Jesus. This is caked in dust too. I have this on a shelf with books in between. So it is both ends of the Titanic. It doesn't really look like the Titanic, but it does have a little plaque right here. Not sure if you guys can see what it says. It's very shiny. It says Titanic 1912, and the other side says the same thing. And then on the ship itself, it says Titanic. So although it doesn't look anything like the real life Titanic, you can still tell what it's supposed to be. Yeah, you just put it at the end of your books like this, stops your books falling over. Now this is a little piece from the movie. Some of the stuff is from the movie, some of it's just from like about the actual ship, like I said. So here is an exact replica of Jack's drawing of Rose from the movie, which actually was drawn by James Cameron himself, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this was the first time I ever saw boobies in my whole life. I think I watched Titanic when I was like 8 years old. My aunt let me watch it, and when I saw this, I couldn't believe it. Now this thing right here is also really cool. This is actually a limited edition. Captain Smith, limited edition, 500, and then it's got the number 80. China Cave, made in England. So there's only 500 of these made, and I have number 80. You can see right there. And it's made out of China Cave, I guess. And it is a statue of Captain Edward Smith of the Titanic. There's a little thing right here that also says RMS Titanic, and then right there it says Liverpool, which is where the ship was registered, the White Star Line. It says right here Captain Smith. And it's a very detailed, like, it looks a lot like him. I'm very happy to have this. This is definitely one of my prized possessions. Next up, I have the authentic Titanic mate's whistle, solid brass, made in England, and it says right here, this is where it gets really good, made on the original tooling by the original suppliers in 1912. So this is an actual whistle that the ship's officers had, and you can even see this in the movie. They do use one of these when Rose is in the water. I don't know if you guys remember that scene. And, well, of course, everybody remembers that scene. But when she's trying to call for help, for the lifeboat to come back and it can't hear her, she swims over to Officer Wilde, who was in the water not far from her. And he was dead with the whistle in his mouth. And it does say on it, Titanic. And then right there, it has the Acme Thunderer, and then made in England, and it's got a little brass ball in there. I will blow it. I will demonstrate. It's gonna be loud. I hate doing this. It's so scary. Okay, here we go. Just for the record, I'm gonna blow it because I know a lot of people who have this on YouTube never blow it. So this is what it sounds like. Just imagine that you're in the water right now and you're trying to get the lifeboat to come back. That's what I want you to imagine, because this is the sound that would have been happening in the North Atlantic that night. So this is what I want you to picture in your head. I always picture it like that when I blow it. All right, here we go. Wow, that's so cool. It almost makes me emotional. Like, what if I were the one in the water? You know what I mean? This little whistle saved Rose's life. And although she was a fictional character, but like in real life, this possibly could have saved somebody's life. You don't know. Somebody could have been blown the whistle to be heard. It's kind of crazy to think about. Next, I have, this is probably my favorite thing of all. It is my collector's edition Titanic coal. And then it says April 10th. Wait, what? April 10th? Oh, 10th to 15th. Because it set sail on April 10th, and then it sank on the night of April 15th, and then 1912. And on the side right here, it says, by your purchase, you have contributed to preserving the artifacts, the memory of the Titanic, and all who sailed with her. And then on this side, it's got the little certificate of authenticity right here. And it says, this coal was recovered from the wreck of the RMS Titanic during the 1994 Titanic Research and Recovery Expedition, object number, and then it's got the object number, authenticated by the company seal and by Arnie Geller, chairman of RMS Titanic, and then it's got his, like, autograph right there. And inside here is an actual piece of coal that was recovered from the Titanic. And I bought this from Tennessee at the Titanic Museum. That's where this came from. I didn't personally buy it from there. I bought it from somebody who got it from there, and the guy told me he was selling a lot of Titanic memorabilia, and he said this is one of the biggest pieces he had seen of this, because usually you get little fragments or little tiny shards, and this is a relatively large piece. Look how big this chunk is. It's sealed in this bag. I've never opened this, and I never will. I just feel like it's too risky. And besides, there's no point. It's just coal. But it says right there, fragile Titanic coal on the packet. And as you can see, it is a very large piece of coal. So this was under the water. Like, this was there during all of that. Like, all of what we know happened. This little guy right here was there. It also comes with, like, a little picture, too, of the coal. I guess that's the piece of coal that it came from, the piece that they recovered. The whole wreck site is like covered in coal, so they recovered a lot, and it was something that they're actually, it's the only thing that you're actually legally allowed to buy and own, unless you're like a registered museum or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool to think that this piece right here came from the bottom of the Atlantic, and now I have a piece. This was right there. If this little guy right here could talk, although it didn't see much because it was probably down in the boiler room, but it would have heard the sounds, it would have experienced a lot, you know what I mean? Then I have a few Titanic books. This shit's made me cry before. Like, I cried reading this. The Voyage on the Great Titanic, The Diary of Margaret Ann Brady, 1912, and it's basically written like a diary. And if you like the movie, this is similar in ways to the movie, except this girl right here is the Rose Dawson, or Rose Jewett Bucator. But she meets somebody who's similar to, like, Jack. It's a really lovely story. Tragic ending, as with the movie. But yeah, if you want to read it, definitely do that. I also have these books right here, written by Gordon Corman. And these are like a 3-part series. And so you can actually, whoa, shit. You can actually put the books together like this, and it forms the full Titanic. You see? The picture on the front. So this is book 1. Unsinkable. Book 2, Collision Course, and then book 3, SOS. And you can see a picture right there of the lifeboat with the people in getting rescued by the Carpathia. That's a real photo right there. I've seen that one a lot. And this is a real photo of the ship's crew and officers and the captain, and a real photo of the Titanic too. Of course, the picture on the top's not. It's like a computer generated picture, but it's pretty cool how, like, you can buy the 3 books and it creates the puzzle of the Titanic. I haven't actually read these ones yet, though. I'm not much of a reader, but maybe one day. Then I have a little coaster with the Titanic on it, sinking. And I also have the same thing, but in a keyring. And then I have this right here, which my grandma had this for years, and she gave it to me. And this is an old nickel from 1912. And it's not like, it was never on the Titanic or anything like that. It's just showing you what the nickels look like. So that's 5 cents. I don't know what the equivalent of that was to today's money, back then. But yeah, it's really cool that that's in there. It's just, all it is really is just to show what the money looked like back then. It's got a little piece about the ship itself. I won't read the whole thing, but you can pause the video and read it yourself if you want. It's got a little sun damage on there because it was like on display for a long time, and it's just like kind of damaged it a little bit with the sunlight. Last but not least, I'm not going to show you all of these because there's so much stuff in here, but I have made a video entirely on this, and it's Titanic replica documents, and it has everything in here, including like what a boarding pass looked like. It has notes that were written by passengers, like actual, not like real notes, but like replicas, printed reprints, or I guess you could call it. It also has like the brochure that was used to advertise the Titanic. It has photos of like the grand staircase, the ship, interior, stuff like that. It even has a copy of the menu that they were eating the day they died, like what they had to eat. And also it has a copy of the sheet music for Nearer My God to Thee, which is the song that the band played as the ship was going down. All of this is in here. There is a lot of stuff in here. But yeah, if you want to see this, definitely check out my Titanic playlist, because I did do a video entirely on these papers and just like showed everything. That's pretty much all I have of my Titanic collection. I did used to have a lot more, like the life jacket, but it was just so big and bulky, and it was just kind of annoying because it was always in the way. I had nowhere to really store it, and so I did sell it in the end. I also had like a statue of Rose, which I sold that too. That was made by the Franklin Mint. It was like an actual, like, I don't know, it was like a doll, basically. And it had like different outfits. I made a video on her too, so you can check that one out if you're interested. But I sold that. That was very expensive. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like on it. I would really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out and chase your dreams.